So just to put a bit of perspective on how the phrase event cinema came to be. So the traditional model of distributing films has been a movie goes into a cinema, it runs for multiple weeks until they've soaked up all the demand. So now with event cinema, what we do, it's about focusing on a date. It's about getting people to make a commitment to go and see a movie on a specific day, so it becomes an event. And the idea there being, obviously, is that we want to try and get full rooms. We don't want to have 1,000 people going to 10 different screenings. We want those 1,000 people going to one screening.
I think
Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, the other thing that's important about the date that Grant just mentioned is that date will normally coincide with an initiative that the artist has. They have a tour going on sale, they have a new CD being released, or there's something other important happening from the artist's perspective. So what you have is you have all of the artist's assets, the promoter's assets, and the cinema's assets all coinciding on a focal point that's very important to the fan base and to everyone's collective marketing interests. And so that's what makes a successful event and promotion.
And we start promotions about 30 days prior to that street date. So if you're at a movie theater and you see the Fathom event trailers talking about the upcoming program, that runs for about 30 days.
So this slide here just gives you an overview of how many digital screens there are in the world. Just for those of you not familiar, there's around about 120,000 cinema screens in the world. That equates to somewhere in the region of 15,000 actual locations, cinema locations. As you can see, as of the end of last year, just a little over 100,000 of those are now digital. So that's kind of pretty much most of it. And then in terms of event cinema and what it is as a market, the august British journal, IHC Screen Digest, have called $750 million currently as the box office value of event cinema, rising to about $1 billion by 2017, I think it is. So let's have a bit of a look through at some of the examples of some of the stuff that we've been doing both individually and together over the last few years. So at the top there we've got Bon Jovi, the Circle Tour. That's something that all three of us worked on. So how that worked is that my company took the international theatrical rights from John's company, and John worked with Kimberly for Fathom for the US. So it was a nice kind of like circle, the dots joined up, and we were able to share all the promotional assets, trailers, poster art, and obviously modify them for the particular territories.
One other thing that's important to point out about Bon Jovi is that over 8 years, Bon Jovi produced and distributed more than 6 live and pre-recorded cinema events for different initiatives and tours, 2 of which I believe contributed to the Billboard top-selling tour of the year.
Perhaps you'd like to tell us a little about the Crossroads show?
Sure. So this one we do when Eric Clapton performs his Crossroads program. The last one was this summer. We worked with, anybody in the room know John Bugh? So we've worked with John to collaborate on bringing the best of Crossroads. As you know, it's a festival that takes place over an entire weekend. So we really narrow it down and create
No mobile phones, John.
Yeah. Really
Excuse me.
narrow it down and create a 2-hour event. And the continuity is Eric Clapton on stage and performing with some of the other great artists that are honoring him. It's a perennial for us, and well, not a perennial, but every 3 years we do this. And we found that from event 1 to event 2, we've really been able to hold the audience and draft an uptick in audience.
So Led Zeppelin Celebration Day, that was one that we did. That was an interesting one. Something with slow burner. Some of you may know that Led Zeppelin reformed to do a one-off show in 2007 at the O2 in London. It was kind of famous because 22 million people applied for 18,000 tickets. And we knew that the show had been filmed because we knew the director. And somewhere about the beginning of 2011, we started talking. We just got going, released a couple of films, and we started talking to them saying, hey, this could be huge. This could be an absolute perfect event cinema show. At the time, I think Robert Plant and Jimmy Page weren't talking to each other, so they didn't want to do anything with it. So it was around about 18 months later that we actually got something done, and we took that out into about 2,000 cinemas around the world. And we focused it on one day, working with Kimberly in the US. It was October the 17th. and then over that day, and then encore screenings, which slotted in over the next both week and then in other kind of more far-flung territories the next few months. We did about just over $5 million of box office on that.
And something that Grant said is really important. A lot of times, you know, it looks like magic that something falls in our lap and we put it up on a screen, but some of these projects we're working 4, 5, 6 years in advance, identifying what's really going to make really great event cinema, building the relationship with the talent, with management, with anybody who's involved, and waiting for the right time to really release this in cinema. So any idea to us, I think collectively I could speak for the group, is a good one. It may not be the perfect time at this point in time, but we build those relationships so that when it is, we've got that relationship going and that conduit of being able to take it to theaters.
Well, and you're here at South by Southwest, and so you're as part of a music panel, and so you're in the music business, and you clearly understand what relationships are about and how you grow a relationship and an understanding with an artist so that you know that at the right time in that artist's career and your collective relationship that you're able to, as Kimberly says, you know, activate those levers and make something very special happen.